go. So we have some bug fixes and updates in on the calculator. Just pop the board open. No, we'll just like not. There's not that many updates, no need to go through the whole board. So the recipe recalculation workflow change got added in, so now when I do changes to the recipe selections, I don't have to wait for recalculation to finish before I can do anything. I can now remove items, and there was two changes which won't be get shown in the UI. One was code was refactored to take state property related filtering out of the state class, and the other let's get loaded in. And the other was putting in a consistent sort order for the parties. Now it's not perfect because it doesn't put ore at the top, which seems a bit weird, and also for some reason it puts like aluminium ingot at the top above all of the other ingots, but it is consistent, which was the key issue. So that's the state of dev over in a minute, 30 seconds for a change. So today's stream is mostly going to be transferring more data in. One thing I want to check before I pop off is making sure that these destination manifolds are actually set up properly. That's to storage. That should be going to, well, to the warehouse placeholder. And these shouldn't be going to storage. These should be going to heavy modular frames. Recalculation to finish there. I think I maybe need to add that same toggle in the fling production thing as well. So let's add that on the priority board. Let's put it in as a. Well, I'm going to put it in as a P2. Use calculation toggle approach from recipe selection in production flinging. Stick the labels on. Put the enhancement. Production flinging. There we go. Alright, so these are meant to go to heavy modular frames. Ah, now I see the problem. That says to storage. Right. I'm going to put that in as a P1. The destinations should show the breadcrumb trail that the op groups are meant to provide. So I'll do that after stream. I'm not going to do that one live. I mean, I could do it live, but now that I'm aware of the issue, it's you know, not a problem. So flinging destination column needs to show breadcrumb trail for pools. Let's just grab that. To storage is a reused pool name. Need to disambiguate. Oh yeah, I need to go on production flinging label as well. Right, then reinforced iron plates. Oh, right, yes, now I was looking over these earlier and I was a little bit confused because I was wondering, like, why are these going to two modular frames when it's two storage? Because this whole overflow thing, so these are going into, like, all the were at some point going into two modular frames and then overflowing from two modular frames to the warehouse, but I'm just going to put them, obviously I've set them to 0 at some point, so I'm going to send these to storage. And these are going to go to modular frames. Although I do need to check in here how many it actually needs. So it's got a surplus of 11. So then if I yeah, I've got that annoying bug there. So I need to manually set the 11 from here. Since I put in this recipe selection dialog, I've now found myself instinctively with this recipe selection dialog button, I've now found myself instinctively trying to click on the cog here when I'm wanting to go to the output config. It's really annoying. Whoops, let's delete that. Loop. Oh balls. Triggered a bug in one of me upgrading workflows. That's a problem. Just need to find out what the workflow is on it. Well, this just seems to be a recurring problem. I come on here intending to do a stream where I'm going to be transferring some data in. I shuffle some data around, trigger a bug, and then I'm just like, oh, okay. Gonna have to pop off. Let's see, so render if needed, get template, re-render. Okay, let's load that again. Does it trigger if I don't take that out? Oh, right. It's, yes, okay. I know what the issue is now. This is related to some stuff I did earlier. I was like cleaning up some code and there was like a theoretical bug I had in mind, but like I didn't know if it was actually going to be realistically triggerable. If the current pool is set to a like an ID and the pool isn't there, things fall over. So I need to change this to something else. Then I can go delete pool 68. There we go. I'm going to put that on as a P1, not a P. Oh no, I'll put it in as a P0 because it makes things not work. Yes, let's put it in as a P0. Put it in the ready column. I mean, I'm doing this interaction on another screen. I'm just putting it in on that tab because then you'll be able to see it pop up. So, assigning it to myself. Bug. Need to get a default view rendered if current pool. Isn't there. I'm not going to put the full description in the title because that's not what the title's for. Let's see. If one removes the pool entry corresponding to the current pool ID setting without changing the pool ID, the UI falls over as it is expecting current pool ID to either be -1 or refer to a pool that exists. So I'll work on that after stream definitely, but we know the workaround is to just, you know, not do that. Okay, yeah, we were checking on these things. So no ingredients needed here, no ingredients needed here. These only need the rubber. Although we are missing the iron plate. So this needs 39 iron plate. So we need to add 39 to that one. Excuse me, then we need to double back. There we go, so it's getting 50.25, so that needs to be 50.25 minus 39, so that's going to be 11.25. I clicked on the thing, so the forward history is gone. And there's that annoying issue again. I'll put that in as a P2. Well, first of all, I need to get the original issue. Let's see, decimal. Production flinging dialog inputs won't accept training decimal. Yeah, let's just reopen the original bug. Reopen. Issue can occur if the input is interacted with during a recalculation, spell correctly, cycle may be resolved by what was the name of that issue? $49. So that's to use recalculation toggle approach from SD selection, blah 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 blah. So I should probably just show that off because it is like a UI change. So in here we have this. Yeah, this is something I should have mentioned like at the start of the stream, but it's still close enough. So in here we have this auto recalculate on change thing. It's on by default, but if you've got a set of pools as large as the one I do in this save, like in this document here, yeah, turning it off means that interacting with this is going to be a lot smoother. And that approach would probably solve the not being able to enter decimals issue. Well, it's not solve, it's like stop the bug from getting triggered, rather. Anyway. Right, so now, if we go back into here, yay! Ingredients satisfied. So if we go back, ingredients satisfied. Right, what are we short on here? Reinforced iron plate. Is that actually in here? Did I like miss a thing? Yeah, that is actually going. Oh no, it's got. Well, hang on a second. This is the wrong floor. Yeah. I'm forgetting what floor I'm on. Oh, right, it's the modular frames that are not coming through. Okay. So 2 storage. It's got a 9 surplus. So that means that should be these ones here. Except that's a 16.5. So I need to pop into here. So 3 are going to storage. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, yes, now I'm figuring out what's going on wrong here. So this one needs 9. We've got 16.5 going down to the first, you know, coming from here down to the first manifold. So now if we go into 2 storage, is this not number 59? Nope, that one. So now it says it's got this surplus of 9 here. That lines up with what we're looking at over here. So I need to take the output from here and say, oh, got it to fuse modular frame. Except the UI says there's a shortfall. This is where like the overflow mechanics aren't quite working. So if I set that to 0, set this in as a P1 because there's workarounds. Oh yeah, bug in production flinging. Production flinging currently has issue with handling overflow of input. Sending 16.5 modular frames to a manifold that only needs 7.5 is listed correctly as having a 9 modular frame surplus, but the production flinging dialog possibly disagrees. I might be misreading that. So I'm just gonna check that. This is the amount available after this is used. So yeah, I think the amount's been applied twice. I think. And possibly the number of modular frames being consumed by this floor is off. So yeah. So we're gonna go in here, say 7.5 going to I really thought I'd fix that issue with the decimals. So we've got 7.5 is going to go to storage, and then the remaining 9 is going to go to the to fuse modular frames manifold. So yeah, so the thing we're going to be doing today is we are backtracking through the transposed data for this stack of facilities, and then we're going to pick one of these and start doing data entry for that. Modular frame. It still says it needs stuff. It says it needs steel pipe. Have I not got steel pipe working? Ah, the numbers are all going to the in case industrial beams. Yes, this is this whole overflow thing. So if the overflow thing's buggy, we want to tinker with this. That's going to be minus 33.75 minus 40.5. So I think the reason why I'm thinking I fixed the bug is because the bug was happening on this input, but now it's happening on these inputs as well. It's entirely possible it was also happening on those inputs, I just didn't notice. Okey-dokey. So the concrete thing I could maybe do next. like after I get like all of these inputs sorted, because that set of that bank of constructors down there supplies the concrete for this floor. So that would get those ingredients satisfied. Steel ingots are being listed despite being built over here. Make sure that doesn't make it go octal. Steel pipes. It's 144.375. I'm sending 144.375 over there, aren't I? Oh, right, yeah, I was misreading that. I was already editing as that number. It's fine. Is it just not updating? Am I sending it to the wrong encased industrial beams manifold? That's the question. That says ID 45. It's 58 I want. Right, if I hit save here, actually, what pool am I on? I'm on ID 57. So what I can do is I can just edit the number. So ID 57. Why yet no worky? Fine as your type's not working for some reason. I wonder if it's because it's incognito mod. Okay. Right. So that's meant to be going to destination 58, not 45. So we'll copy, paste. So you can see there, it's going encased industrial beams. Sorted. Cool. Right, now fuse modular frames. So this one, we know like these are not going to be satisfied for a while because those are coming from over somewhere in that facility. Is like where the alumina solution is. And ingots are on some other... actually, ingots might be on that floor. Yeah, it was a previous playthrough. It's the one where I was making alumina solution on a separate floor. Alumina solution's being made on that floor, and anything that needs alumina solution is getting its own... anything that needs alumina solution that isn't ingots is going to get its own bauxite supply. So to storage. Right, so this says it needs heavy modular frame. So apparently I haven't sent them up. So that wants to go to pool 55. Oh, how much was it? 1.5. Yep, that lines up with what's on there. And 1.875 for the turbo motors one. There we go. I'm going to send a group default for nitrogen gas to come from unpackage gas. And then we can demonstrate this toggle. Now, it doesn't turn off the current recalculation cycle. I could look into maybe using signals and making that a thing, but I am concerned about making state changes in atomic operation. I would have to wait until recalculation was finished before I could actually copy data back into the state, and it would just be unpleasant. But with this turned off, I interact with that select thing. Now that's changed the recipe selection. You know, if I do that again and then I turn that back on, and then interact with that again, now it's recalculating. So this is what it was doing last stream, and when I was doing multiple recipe selections, that was getting tedious because it was interfering with the ability to interact with the UI thread. So now with that on there, it'll only recalculate on close if there's a change being made. One of the other things is it might not be clear from the UI, but that is a global setting, not a per group setting. So I might need to change that if I get feedback from people other than me. But for now I'm happy with it because I know how it works. I'm the one that put it together. So now those correctly say unpackaged nitrogen gas. So eventually, when we get around to it, I think the nitrogen gas comes over this line. No, it doesn't. I mean, you would think it would come over this line because it's in a direct line from the facility. So apparently the nitrogen gas is going on that viaduct there. Something to reconsider is, like on the next playthrough, is if I'm doing this again, I'm saying, yeah, I'm going to be sending nitrogen gas over to this facility. The nitrogen gas packing plant is going to be over there. Because when I started this playthrough, I hadn't decided where it was going to be. I would know that I should be able to drop the nitrogen gas down there, hook it onto here, and then it'll come over here. Getting it into the facility might be a bit funky, so the reason why it's on... So the primary reason why it's on the viaduct that it is I didn't know where it was going to come from. The secondary reason is I don't have to do funky routing of the belt or have it come in from the back, which would be inconsistent with everything. It is entirely feasible that I could just say, oh, like, it's probably that flaw, I think, but it's like, oh, hey, we've got some parts coming off this viaduct, need to go into here, let's just, you know, poke a hole in the back and send it straight through. That would be like the most expedient thing logistically, I think, but aesthetically it clunky as hell. Okay, so it looks like the only things missing are from the ingredients on this facility are things I am expecting to be missing. So, iron ingots, coal for steel ingots, concrete for industrial steel beams, etc. Yeah, so I've got to check this one. Yes, so there's the plastic for these ones as well. Whoops. I had disconnected from a power point for too long before I jumped off the building. Also, I think I have an express tube over here, so jumping down was pointless. I've got a staircase on the corner, I think. Right, I've got a staircase down to the Fixmas facility. I'm not going to put this on the issue board, but one thing I'm wondering is if I should add the ability to just like turn off a facility, so the data is entered, but like it's completely ignored for the purposes of reporting shortfalls in ingredients. Because having two different presets for the Fixmas factory calculated in advance would have like probably been useful had I had the calculator at the time. Because I built up the Fixmas factory to go through the Fixmas progression tree and then dismantled portions of it once those portions were complete. So for the duration, the remainder of the duration of Fixmas, it was still spitting out gifts from the little tree farm we have here. But up here, it was stockpiling explosive snowballs and then sending the remainder to sink. So that seems like a bit of a niche application, but possibly useful. So yeah, let's put it on the priority board, but like all the way down in the bottom. Under eventually. So you're going to say assign to me, label, enhancement. Put that under production flinging. Isolation boundaries, because if a collection is turned off, we don't want recalculate all to do anything to it. We basically would want to reinitialize it to a state that it doesn't have any input-output set, and then just, ignore it. Add ability for collections / groups to be. Well, maybe just collections. For collections to be turned off. So, multi-stage facility presets can be loaded in but ignored. If a collection is in a deactivated state, we want to remove the side effects of calculation and ignore it from future recalculation. This will impact isolation boundaries as well. since they should effectively be removed. Reactivating a collection should then result in the isolation boundaries being calculated. Maybe configure this from the state config. Well, from a state level config screen, that recalculation on change doesn't kick in when toggling multiple collections on and off, because under the current model, if your collection was turned off and then turned on, etc., the idea of this feature is, oh, you're going to have a preset ready for this, like how a facility is going to be configured at one stage in its use, and then another set of presets for another stage, and so on. Under the current interaction model, what would happen is you would turn off the currently active preset for that facility, which would recalculate the isolation boundaries, which would then trigger a recalculation, and then you would go turn on the new current stage, which would then trigger isolation boundary recalculation, and then like full recalculation. And if you did it in the opposite way, where you turned on the current one and then turned off the old one, you're calculating like twice as much stuff as you need to. So having a global screen means you can go through and toggle stuff on, and then hit the button and it'll recalculate it all at once. So, this is the former starter facility. So we're gonna pop that in as a new collection. And this group is concrete production. I'm pretty sure this is all going to heavy modular frame. I'll be able to tell if there's a splitter at this end. Well, this other end. Oh, I used to have an express tube and now I don't, so I would have had to use the express tube to the facility and then hopped out. Yeah, so we've just got we've got two concrete facilities. So I want to put that in as two separate pools. We're going to rename this to Site A. Or not. Okay, let's rename that to Starter Facilities, plural. Change the group back to Concrete Production. Change the pool to Site A. Add a new pool for Site B, because both of these have to go up to the same destination. Oh yeah, let's do a site B while we're here. Alright, so what are we making? We are making stupid numbers. A minute. Why am I making stupid numbers a minute? Okay. So that's 120 limestone a minute. Okay, let's use the calculator features in here for what they were made for. So we've got concrete on the default recipe. And we're going to put some parentheses in and say so we've got 120 limestone a minute times 0.795536 and then divided by 3. That doesn't seem to be recalculated the way I want it to. Because that says 284 limestone. And 94, like, things out. Oh no, it's times by 3, isn't it? Times by 3? No. That should be valid math. There we go. So there is a still a bug in the update refreshment thing. There we go. To pop that on there, put it in as P1, not P0, because the workaround is just manually trigger a refresh. Production, see, calculations entered into production fields seem to leave render stuck on old values. Let's take a screen grab of that. Workaround, toggle to report view as we calculate pool won't trigger a render. So that's on the board. Rather, it should be. Yeah, the second where Like, where is it? So it is actually in the issue list, it's just not showing on the board. Oh, it's entered in as a P2. It's meant to be entered in as a P1. That's annoying. Right, so back to the calculator. So now that says 95.46432 limestone, which is a slightly different number than what we're seeing here. So we're seeing 95.46. But if the clock speed is the primary value for calculating production, that is probably correct in the calculator. So that's being split into 3 constructors, which isn't why I put divided by 3 in here, it's because there's a 3-to-1 ratio from limestone to concrete. Right, now, because of the bugs in overflow handling, I'm going to put in a temporary pool here. So if I go back to site B, configure all of the concrete to go to the temporary merger. Then I can redistribute the concrete from here. I will have to add the concrete item in because again I haven't gotten around to fixing the 0 item filter issue, which isn't a bug, it's just undesirable intended behavior. Which is a very subtle distinction. Now, is these ones gonna have easier math? No, they aren't. Lovely. Right. How many directions has it got limestone coming in from? 2. Okay. This is gonna be fun. Fun time. It's got 120 times 0.972322. Times 2. Possibly going to be a times 3, but I can't remember if this is a normal load or not. Yep, times 3. So hopefully this is also a normal node, so I don't have to put in any extra parentheses. I'm going to have to put extra parentheses in here. But I mean, like adding in a like a impure or a pure limestone node. Oh, this one's at 100%. That's probably an error. So let's put it in as ended. So we've got 120 times 1 times 1 divided by 3. And that's tripping up on my calculator parser. Am I missing brackets? Just copy this into VS Code. I'm not going to switch sources for it though. Okay, so that's over there. It's because of the lack of a 0. Maybe? Value given was not valid. Right. I need to enter this in as a bug, but I have to find out where it's failing. Double checking it's that. Okay, so we've identified the problematic issue. Now, while I ride the conveyor belt back there, I'm going to put that in on the calculator repo as a bug, because the bug will be in the calculator repo, not the UI repo. It's not critical. It does make things go wrong. I'm going to put it in as a P1. But I'm going to try and work on it afterwards. Information reported as invalid. I'm just going to pop open the dev console just to make sure it's coming from the calculator code. Oh, hang on a second. Is it not just the custom validity is getting not getting resolved? Okay, let's manually set the validity. Right, it doesn't look like it should be getting set. So I'm not sure whether see now. Okay, so the thing responsible for setting the custom validity property in the browser and it is actually fun that that overlay is being displayed on OBS and not drop downs. The UI project sets the customability property. The calculator is the one that's the underlying calculator project is the one that's responsible for parsing this input stream. Right, so set custom validity. What file's that in? So calculate the line 275. Here we go. Value given was not valid. Yes, that is coming from the calculator. See, considered not valid. And then if we replace the parentheses, considered valid. Now I'm reading through this and I think I am correct saying like those parentheses should work, so it's going to be like a parsing issue. So what will end up happening is I will be putting this into the test cases for the calculated repo, and then faffing about with them until it gets fixed. There we go. Calculation report does seem valid. Okay, back to the calculator. But first, let's take the breakpoints off so I don't get that issue annoying me. Alright, so we have this much limestone coming in. And then we've like added it all together and divided it by 3, and that's how much we've got 156 concrete coming out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop on, I'm going to assume these are all clocked the same because that's generally how I build manifolds. So I'm going to pop one open, multiply the output by the number of constructors, and then go from there. So that's making 10.61 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That means we're getting an oversupply. So let's take the alternate approach. We know we have 11 constructors, and we know that should be invalid. So the valid should be valid. It's fine. Considered valid should be invalid. Right, So, yes, things. Okay, so we want to make 15 concrete a minute, because that's how much it takes in, and then we multiply that by 0.707143, which is the amount we're actually making, and therefore accurate-ish. But yeah, it does mean that we could be making more concrete. I'm just oversupplying the manifold for no need. It's all coming from Mark II miners. Miners at the moment don't make any difference to the calculator. That's just, yeah. It just hasn't been implemented. So stick that into the temporary merger. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so what's going on there is it's doing amount string rounding, ignoring the fact that the input is a calculation. Which means I have to take this number over here and stick it in here. That's probably intended behavior, I would say. So now we want to pop open heavy modular frame, saying this needs 103.125. So we've got all that not limestone, we've got all that concrete stuck behind here. There we go. We've got all that concrete coming up. So it comes all the way along here. Some of it splits off into the encased Biggs manifold, and the rest of it goes into the heavy modular frame manifolds. So because we know that the overflow calculation is a bit off, we're gonna put these in one at a time. So the first step is to have to work around that zero filter bug by putting one extra concrete in, just so I can open this dialog. And then we're saying that much gets flung to heavy modular frame and case industrial beams. Fingers crossed that the bugs in the output in UI are just in the UI, and the actual calculation works fine. Yeah, so there's that bug kicking in. So we want to set that back to 1. Now we want to set 20.625 over to HMF to storage. And then 24.75 over to HMF to fuse modular frame. So there's two bugs in the frame production dialog thing at the moment. One is this zero items filter thing, and the other is how overflows handled. I'm not sure if this issue counts as a separate bug or not, where the output is not listed, which is weird. It's just all listed as surplus. But if we go into the main facility, fingers crossed, the bug is only on one end of the production flinging, not both ends. Yeah! It's just on the one end. Yay! So, after how many weeks is it? Of data entry and bug fixing? Yeah, it's like the end of... Oh, why is May 28th coming up after May 31st? That's weird. I've got bugs in my gaming site builder as well, that's lovely. So after a couple of weeks, we've now finally... well, after several weeks maybe, we've finally finished entering the data for this facility. There's still data meant to come into this facility, which we'll then need to account for. But we've now got most of the ingredients satisfied, which is where I wanted to be for it to be considered done before I can move on to another facility. So I'm going to do that next stream, because I've got a whole bunch of bugs to fix. So the first step will be adding a new facility with warehouse, turbo motor, stator, and rotor. Yay. Let's get that saved. So that's going to be off now. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.